In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone.
We hear you, and we believe you. Hey, all, how you doing today? Welcome to Surviving Together, safe place and space for sexual assault and other trauma survivors to come together and connect with each other and heal along our journey, along with all of our supporters as well. Don't forget them. Don't forget them. And who do we have in the house today? Matrix Rabbit. Todd, how are you doing? He is going home from the hospital today. Well, that is awesome. Congrats with that. Hugs to you. I know about the loss of your mother, and I am so sorry to have heard that. And I know things are going to be a little bit of a challenge for you when you get home, but hugs going out to you. Hugs going out to you. Let's see, who else do we have? Indigo, how you doing? I'm really good to see you. I'm really good to see you. Maybe I should try talking more before I actually go live. Oh, my Lord. Lordy me. Yeah, okay. Let's see who else is here. Crystal, I'm glad you're here. Let me say that. Nico, listening in. All right. Sounds awesome. Deborah Roberts, thanks for being here. All right. Who else do I have? Maureen, thank you for stopping in. And Janet, oh, I'm glad you're here too. Mana sends her love to everybody. I know she'd be here if she could. She is off, though, traveling. She's not at home, so she does not really have Wi-Fi. Crystal Phoenix did clue me in and let me know she did speak with our body illusion this morning, and it looks like at least what they're attributing her kidney failure to is potentially having an allergy. So not really sure, I guess, where things are going with that yet. And she's kind of waiting to see, where their line of treatment is going to be. So when we get more word on that, we will certainly pass it along to you guys, because I know everyone's been passing along well wishes to her, and I know she appreciates that. Just finishing supper, Deidre Gore. Oh, well, I'm glad that you are here. Hi, Tiff. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. So apparently I live under a rock. I'm just going to make this known right now, as if most of you don't know. I don't watch TV. I only have the certain things of YouTube that I watch, or when I'm, researching for things. I did not know about this whole Kanye West and his wife, Bianca Censori, and her see-through dress at the Grammys. And apparently it's a huge thing. And the big debate is whether or not he put her up to it, whether or not she consented. And I don't know. I mean, some people say they look at her face and she just looks dead. But she was smiling at him right before she did it as well. So don't know. I mean, he certainly controls a lot of what she does, or at least, has the final approval of what she wears out. And does she agree with all of it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know her. I don't know any more than that, but it's certainly an interesting dynamic. And the reason I mentioned it is it leads into what I want to talk about today, which is deepfake porn. If you don't know, deepfake porn is AI generated explicit content. And most of the time, they're gauging about 99.6% of the time, it is content that has been made without the other person's consent. So when I saw this morning about Miss Sensori and the whole debate that was going on as to whether or not she had consented to do this stunt, it at least she was there in person. Can you imagine having your likeness, even if you put it all out there? Okay, say you put it all out there, but having that be made into a porn video. What about pictures on your Instagram? And all of a sudden somebody's like, hey, I saw you naked. Excuse me? I've never allowed anybody to take naked pictures of me. Don't know why you would say that. They're like, oh, no, yeah, here. And they show you a picture of you completely nude. At least kind of looks like you. It's got your face. It's a big problem. It's a really big problem between videos being made, swapping people's faces out, and these nudify apps. We are on the cusp of, as the lawmakers try to figure out what to do, as the fallout from this stuff, as more and more everyday people, non-celebrities, non-public facing people find themselves drawn into this, the types of ramifications that this causes is immense. Hey, Primo, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in today. So I wanted to play just a short video. It's less than a minute, and it kind of just sets up everything that I wanted to talk about today. So let me share the screen with you. Here we go.
With a click of a button, you can literally see anyone you want in a porn film without their consent. There is so many more victims out there who don't know yet that their digital footprint has been altered forever. Deepfake porn is an image or video that has been created using artificial intelligence. It consists of putting someone else's face onto someone else's body. Some stuff that I saw online was people requesting deepfakes of their sister so that they can use that to blackmail them, requesting deepfakes of family members, of their teachers. But an overriding part of it is the sexual gratification. The distribution does have a maximum 2-year sentence. And I think that is really important because you are altering someone's digital footprint forever. And I think we really need to look at the culture that allows technologies like this to thrive.
Okay. So with the 2-year sentence that that the woman mentioned, just kind of put that in your back pocket, because that is what's just been proposed within the UK for right now. But the individual states here in the United States have different laws. There is a federal law, 2 federal laws that are kind of up before Congress right now that have not quite gotten all the way through. And there are other countries that have laws that are in the works. Some have passed some laws, but really need more teeth behind them. And so we're going to go through all of that. We're going to talk about it today, starting with a little bit of the history of deepfake porn. When did it start? Well, pretty much as soon as AI started. And they started using AI for movies and to generate likenesses of other people. As soon as that really became a thing, and which was about 2016, by 2017, the first deepfake porn videos were out there. And at first off, it was mainly just celebrities or people who were in the public eye a lot. And this was mainly driven by technology. The programs themselves needed thousands and thousands of video or angles, individual photographs that they could take from videos, or individual photographs that would have to be uploaded, and so that the program could learn what each of these people look like, the person who you're replacing and the person you're replacing them with. And so it took a lot to be able to make something that looked even semi-real, right? And in the beginning, they weren't all that good. There might be asymmetry with a face. There might be, just something else off, a distortion of some sort. And you could tell that it was fake, right? Nowadays, we are really at the cusp of not being able to tell that things, by just looking at them, not being able to tell that a video has been faked or that a photograph has been altered. I don't know about you guys, but that's scary. That's really scary. So not only can you alter somebody's image, but you can use the voice then to also go along with it. I cannot imagine finding my likeness online and there being a pornographic video. I was truthful when I said I've never allowed anyone to ever take a nude photo of me. Never. I'm scared to death about that getting out. So not even just for, personal keepsake, this is between you and your husband type of thing. Never did I allow. And I'm thankful. I mean, not just from the fact that I'm divorced. Could that stuff have been used for revenge to get back at me somehow? It could. It definitely could. But I'm glad that I'm glad that I hadn't allowed that. However, all they need to do is take some videos that I've posted here. They have my likeness. They let the computer run, and boom, they can just superimpose myself on somebody else. And you'd have a hard time telling that I was not actually in that video. As with most technology, our laws are woefully behind the times. There currently is no federal law for this type of pornography, non-consensual, and we're talking adult here. pretty much anything involving kids still is going to fall under child porn laws. So whether it is an image or whether it's a video, there's laws that cover that. However, a video, or I should say an image, is only considered child pornography or pornography if it's sexually explicit material. So there is this fine line between a picture that is just of a naked child to, are we considering this sexually explicit material? And this is one of these lines that some of them walk, that some of these people who create these images walk. And this has become much more prevalent now that there are what they call nudify apps. And these are apps that allow you to put somebody's picture in, and it could be them fully clothed, and it will create them with a naked body. All you need is somebody's face. And this is an incredibly dangerous technology because of the way it's affecting our children. In the universities, in the high schools, in the middle schools. Now, could some of this initially be being made just for fun, just out of curiosity? Absolutely. But that's where talking to our kids about this, about making a nude image of somebody else without their consent, is critical. What happens to these young women, and I use women because most of the overwhelming majority of these nudify apps are geared towards being able to take a picture and have it be a female naked body. There are male ones now, and I have no doubt that there will be more that will be created, but it's not the overwhelming majority right now. So what we have seen in the schools, things that have become problematic, are in regards to these young women. Hi, Mike, how are you doing? So, and our schools are totally unprepared to deal with this. I watched something on a young girl who was a freshman in high school, and somebody had taken the picture of a bunch of different kids in the high school, and they had run them through these nudify apps, and then they've been sending them around to each other. And of course, word gets out in the school. For many of these girls, they felt like their life was over. They were absolutely mortified, humiliated. It was as if they had been physically sexually assaulted in real life. The feelings that came about because of this were just as strong. And actually, Dr. K, who, I forget his real name, I think I wrote it down once. He goes by Healthy Gamer. I absolutely love him. He's a psychologist, and he is just, he's real down to earth. Gosh, I wrote it somewhere, and of course I'm not going to be able to find it real easily. But anyway, he was saying that the research right now is that people who find out that they have either naked pictures or fake pornography videos that have been made out of them, more than 50% of them will have suicidal ideations. More than 50%. That's an astronomical number. Because these people know that there's very little recourse right now. There is a federal law here in the United States that's being proffered that is going after the platforms to the places where these are uploaded. But even if they eventually get taken down, you have no idea how many people have already downloaded that video, have shared it with somebody else. Those pictures that have gone around, middle schoolers, high schoolers. There's literally no other category of person that has this high of a suicide risk. Immediate. That is scary. The laws absolutely need to catch up, but we're always kind of chasing, right? Always kind of chasing that, chasing the technology. Hey, Thindu. Exactly, Crystal. Sharing personal pics is a form of revenge porn. And a lot of states who have not done any targeted laws specific to AI generated have, if they've prosecuted it all, it has generally gone under revenge porn. Suing for civil damages, there is a lawsuit there's a federal law that's up before the House right now. It's past the Senate, but it's in front of the House. And someone asked if that wasn't, Tiff asked, isn't that considered falling under CP? And again, it comes down to what was the picture doing as to whether or not it's considered child pornography. Plus, the person getting in trouble depends on the age of that person. And so the one that I was speaking of, one boy, and I think it was the original, the creator of it, got a 1-day suspension. That's all the school did. The state, the police, they didn't want to pursue it, because in a lot of places this is kind of the gray area. Now, there have been some places where they've prosecuted people successfully for this, and it has gotten some pretty long sentences. Usually when that happens, you are finding that it is because it's CP, and it's somebody who has taken an obvious child's face and put it on children who were actually, it was child porn before the faces were switched, and it was child porn afterwards. So there was a gentleman last year in Pennsylvania. He received 14 years for possession and distribution of CP, and he was using child actors, taking their face and putting it on actual other CP that he had, and creating creating the new CP that way. There was a gentleman, however, in New York last year who in 2019 to 2021 had taken pictures of high school students, had denudified them, had posted their personal details, their name, their address, their phone number, and had encouraged sexual violence to be brought upon them. He received 6 months in jail. 22 years old. He received 6 months in jail, 10 years probation. And it was because at that time, New York did not have a law specifically for non-consensual AI-generated explicit material. So, and currently my understanding of the law in New York and in the UK actually as well, it depends on the creator's intent. Did they intend to harm the victim, the person whose likeness they took? I don't care if you intend it or not. It does. It harms that person significantly. That digital footprint's always going to be there. All of the mental stress, all of the effects that go along with being SA'd, these women suffer from it. It is as damaging as if there had been a sexual assault to their physical body in real life. And I want to play something by Dr. K because it didn't occur to me until I was listening to one woman's story, and she said that after she found these videos of herself, she had an intense body dysmorphia for a long time, meaning when she looked at her body in the mirror, what was actually being reflected was not what she saw. And it's an interesting phenomenon. And I think Dr. K explains it well. And he was, the first thrust of why he is going through this explanation is to talk to anybody who says, it's not actually you. It shouldn't bother you. Or, it comes with the territory. Him saying, listen, if you're an OnlyFans creator and somebody's created some other fake porn, well, that kind of comes with the territory. Your body and all of that is already out there for viewing. It's not wholly unexpected that other people would also have your content. Not going into the consent aspect of it. But what he was getting at is that just because you're in the public eye, or just because you're on YouTube, or you have your own private Instagram account, it does not give somebody the right to take that likeness and to do something and make sexually explicit material out of it. And he was trying to come up with an example as to what it would be like for somebody. And let me play you what he came up with. And I think this is as good as an explanation or what's the word I'm looking for? An example as any to be able to let you know what it might feel like. Let me share this with you. Not very long.
So I'm going to give you all an example of, I was trying to think about how could someone who has not been the victim of a deepfake understand what the psychological impact of a deepfake is. And so I was just trying to think about what can I do? And here's the best that I could come up with, and it's probably terrible. So imagine for a moment that you were given GHB, Rohypnol, or the date rape drug, or some kind of other dissociative or amnesia-inducing agent. So you have no recollection of it, and then you engage in a sexual act that you have no recollection of. Someone films it, and then you watch it the next day. What do you think would be the psychological impact on you if you saw yourself engaging in a
Okay. So I thought that that was a good an example as any to try and get across what it would be like to find yourself and to discover that this had happened to you. And hi, Adrian, how are you? Sorry, I just got an interesting dichotomy in the chat. People are talking about possums and snakes, and I wasn't sure where any of that had come from or led from, but yeah, I'm terrified of snakes too. Just FYI. So, you know, we have got to be talking to our kids about not only the consumption of pornography, but the dangers with these apps as well. Now that you can have them in the palm of your hand, you can notify anyone with a touch of a button. If the school districts have no idea how to handle this, it's obviously not something that they're discussing within the school district. And I would love to think that the kids as parents would be talking to them about this. But I'm going to bet you that there's probably a good portion of these parents who have no clue that these types of apps even exist. If they're not clued in to what is going on with technology these days, as to what the kids are doing, as to what problems are, they may have absolutely zero idea. And I say the schools need to have a conversation because they, at least as a school district, need to understand that A, it's a potential problem, and B, if this comes to us, what are we going to do? Because a lot of these school districts are coming at it and they're being like, but there's a lot of people that end up that need services, you know, because of this. There is I'll look at it, Crystal. There was a huge scandal in South Korea. South Korea has a very big problem with cyber sex crimes. And several years ago, there was something called the Nth Room and on Telegram. And Telegram has been very big in terms of being problematic because of their level of anonymity that they allow on the platform, and also the lack of moderating that they do of content and of the rooms, the chat rooms themselves. South Korea, so a number of years ago, had the problem with just somebody who was basically blackmailing women into doing more and more violent and degrading things because of a picture. of them. And so it was late last year, I believe it was. Hang on, I've got my notes here. August of 2024, when this came out, in regards to South Korea, there were dozens and dozens and dozens of chat rooms on Telegram that were being used for deepfake porn. One chat room in particular had over 220,000 users. And in order to gain access to the chat room, you had to bring with you an explicit photo of somebody, or a photo of somebody that you agreed then was going to be made into some sort of fake porn. And people are bringing pictures of their teachers, of their family members. There was one particular chat room that was devoted to all female military personnel in South Korea. So, excuse me, it ended up being a huge, huge problem. And they have since shut as many of those rooms down as they could. But one of the, somebody had taken, based on these chat rooms, and had done a pinpoint of all of the schools that had been affected by this. And there were over 500 middle schools, high schools, and universities in South Korea where students had been victims of deepfake porn. 500. I looked and I did not find any numbers that I could say with any sort of confidence in regards to the United States. What I did find was case after case after case of some young woman saying, yes, this happened in our school. We fought with the platform for, months in order to get it down. Now, a lot of the larger platforms, they have rules against these things. They say that as long as you ask, if you, let us know that it was non-consensual, that that's not you or whatever, it will be taken down. Rarely, however, does anything work, as easy like that in real life. We'll see if some of the, I know that, like I said, there is one to make the platforms take photos down, videos down within 48 hours of being notified. That is before the House right now, and as a federal law. There is the District Attorney of San Francisco late last year sued 16 of the top platforms in regards to not moderating and not having strong enough protections for this type of thing in place. The UK has, I think, over 100,000 different companies that are petitioning to have a similar type thing in regards to the platforms themselves being responsible, having some laws, something with teeth, so that they are more careful themselves as to what gets uploaded to their sites. Because I did learn this. Hi, Polly, how you doing? Big hugs to you. Hey, Kermel. I did learn this. There is software out there. There is AI software out there that all you need to do is run a photo or a video through, and it will tell you if it has been digitally altered. It seems so simple. Now, most of the larger sites say, well, we don't allow any digitally altered stuff, but there are plenty of sites that do, and that are catering to this. Now, I don't have the whole, pieces to the law, right? With technology, we are always behind the 8 ball. And I have a feeling we're always going to be behind the 8 ball, because we don't make laws about things until they're problematic for society. So if we actually had technology that came out and it was only used for good, and nothing ever bad was being used by it, we probably wouldn't have very many laws in regards to it. It'll be interesting to see where even the next 2 years go with this. From where it used to be to where it is now, in the ease of being able to make deepfake porn and the realness with which it seems to be. This is going to be very problematic in a couple of years. The software is only getting better. And there's free software out there and plenty of free tutorials to tell you exactly how to do it. So where do we as a society stand on this? I think absolutely you have to be talking to the people around you. If you don't have your social media locked down, if you're not putting yourself out there like I am with this, what are your settings? Do whatever you can to protect yourself. But definitely as a society, our laws have need to be strengthened. There have been pockets around the United States that have made more specific laws towards this non-consensual pornography, specifically targeting the adult population, because that law-wise is the biggest problem. That's the area where you're having the biggest difficulty in prosecuting people. And, part of it is, what does it say about our society that so many people are willing to A, create this kind of content, and B, consume this content? If there was no market, people wouldn't make it. You can almost see, with celebrities, people wanting to almost engage in a voyeuristic relationship or even a personal relationship, putting themselves in that position, being able to see a celebrity, having sex. Why celebrity sex tapes, always sold so well and went viral, right? Everybody wanted to see what the big woo-ha-ha was about it. But for your average, everyday person who has no presence outside of their ordinary social media, that they're sharing photos with family and friends, that this can be used as revenge to get back at somebody just out of spite, out of hatred, that this can be used as blackmail. There's been many instances where this has come up. Pay me X amount or I will release this all. You may know it's fake. You may eventually be able to prove it's fake. That doesn't mean that everybody who that gets disseminated to is going to understand that it's fake or believe themselves that it's fake. There was a case in 2019. A video got circulated about a teacher. She was fired. This wasn't the type of person that they wanted teaching their children. She subsequently was able to prove that was not her. She didn't get her job back. Her reputation wasn't restored. So not only a personal loss from the trauma that you suffer, but the potential professional loss as well that something like this can have. And you know, it's frightening. It's really frightening. And when I look at the market, and that unless we as a society stand up and say, this is not something that we're willing to accept, this isn't something that we're willing to consume, we demand that there are programs put into place, that anything that is uploaded has to be run through. If it's been shown to be altered, it's not going to be able to be posted. Now, obviously, it still doesn't, that's only for posting on platforms. That doesn't take away from people being able to share amongst themselves. But at least as a society, we're saying, listen, we understand the negative consequences to people doing this without their consent. 96% of deep fakes are porn. And that was as of a year or so ago. 96%. So being a political ad or, you know, in some other context or whatever, minuscule. Minuscule. 99.6% were deepfakes involving females. Crystal, I'm going to look at your thing. I'm wondering if it's the same one that I wondering if it's the same one that I found. No. So there was a gal by the name of Breeze. Her last name is S-U-I. So I don't know if it's Sue or Sui or Bui, Sui, because I know someone with a B-U-I. So anyway, S-U-I. She is a survivor of deepfake porn. And she decided to do something about it. And she created Alecto AI last year. And that's A-L-E-C-T-O AI. And she created this in 2024. And what this is that it is a facial recognition tool that scours the web to look for your face and remove it from any places where you don't want it. So whether you've posted videos in the past and you don't want them, you don't know if they've been posted to other places or whatever. But I gotta say, I'm interested. Do I think somebody's made something of me out there? No, not really. If it is, do I want it taken down? Absolutely. And she very well may not be the only one who has some sort of tool like this, but she was one that I did find during my research who is standing up against this and saying, nope, something needs to be done. And this is what I can do. This is where my expertise lies. And I will help anyone who needs to, who wants, help doing this. Tiff says we also need to educate our children to be a bit better human beings. There really is a need for harsher laws for this. Absolutely. And, it was one of the points that Dr. K was making when he was speaking in his video. He was speaking about revenge porn, deepfake porn, and parasocial relationships. And bottom line is, yeah, we need to be kinder human beings. We need to be better people to each other. And that it is extremely dangerous for the consumers of this type of pornography because they are getting a false sense of connection with a person. So maybe it's somebody who's in unrequited love and they take their picture and they put it into the software and they make deep fake porn. And they're able to have this connection. Maybe it's their favorite YouTuber. So not only are they getting this connection with this YouTuber on every single one of their shows, but now they've got an intimate connection as well. And he said the psychological damage that that does to somebody is very significant because you're essentially in a one-sided relationship. And the more you get involved in that, the less likely you are to be going out and having relationships in the real world. And the more isolating this can become. And it's just the cycle that continues. Hey, Seventh, how you doing today? I definitely will. Yep, I will. I will put her name and I will put the name of the tool in the description. And I am going to put Dr. K's video. And there's one other video that I want to put in the description as well. I just am usually researching right up until the last moment. And today was no different. So, but I will definitely do that. Thank you, Carrie Ann, for reminding me. Please, guys, hit the like button. If you're interested in the topics that I bring, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. Subscriptions and hitting the like button, comments after the show all help to get this pushed out further on YouTube, which just expands our reach and hopefully reaches more people who could use our message and use the community that we have over here. No problem, Crystal, no problem. So I talked about the problem that South Korea had with this. Well, last year, Greece came out as well and said, holy moly, guys, we got a big problem. This began, at least according to the politician I was listening to, in about 2021, but the surge has gotten last year pretty much out of control, and particularly amongst their schools, where classmates are circulating videos and pictures of other classmates. If this doesn't go to tell you, again, we have got to be talking to our kids. This isn't just a US problem. It's not just a Western problem. It's a worldwide problem. Carmel says MasterCard and Visa should have control software in place. They handle almost all of the money on the porn site. Yeah, I was listening to something, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I was listening to some of it, where some of the sites that have mainly almost solely this type of porn deals a lot in cryptocurrencies. They also have dummy accounts where, say you want to use PayPal, you click on something on the site and say, I want to buy this. And it goes to a dummy account, which then contacts PayPal. So PayPal thinks you're buying motorcycle parts or flowers or blah, 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 blah. So you're able to utilize, although PayPal themselves have blocks in place for certain apps and certain websites, this is how they get around it. And they said it's a big problem because as much as they said as much as they will block, then what they find, new ones are just created. And one of these Nudify apps, this reporter went searching down, and they found that the CEO's name was fake. It was an AI CEO on the website. The place that they listed was a YouTuber of some business streaming stuff, had nothing to do with this site. So they couldn't even find, like, where this person actually existed. Yeah, definitely like whack-a-mole. Hang on, I need to check something. Okay. All right, I think that was I put my notes in two different places because I got writing and I wanted to keep a couple of my notes separate. So thanks, Crystal. I got it from here. Thanks, Crystal. I appreciate that. I do. And it's not so much that I won't say it, I just forget. I forget all the time. But what do you guys think? Had you even heard of deepfake porn before today? Because I know there were some people I told that I was doing this topic and they were like, oh, well, hello, what? Did you know about these Nudify apps? I had no idea until I heard it from my son. And this was 6 months ago when I was discussing, doing my porn series, Kids on Porn. And he told me about that these existed. Had no clue. They estimate, this was as of last year, over 100 of these Nudify apps. I can only imagine every month that goes by how much that must exponentially explode. We have to be aware of the non-consensual nature of this. And it really smacked me in the face because, we look at, if you're somebody who consumes pornography, and I'm not judging you for it, but we would like to think that most of those are at least with real people, right? Who had consented to having the video made. Now, I discussed on my Porn and SA live where the line is with some of these people as to where their consent really lay, whether they truly were giving consent or whether they're manipulated into doing the particular acts that were in that video. But to have zero consent, to not even know the existence of these videos, that is frightening. So that the laws are somewhat catching up nowadays, at least in the United States. There is, it looks to be about a dozen states or so that have laws specific to images created using another person's likeness that are sexually explicit in nature. But like I said, here, you take New York's law. For conviction, the prosecutor must prove the defendant intended to harm the emotional, financial, or physical welfare of the depicted person. to me, simply posting it, simply putting it out there, if there is any distribution whatsoever, that should be what we call prima facie case. That shows that there was an intent to harm. Whether they knew that that was going to happen or not, their ignorance, no excuse. If you distribute porn you've created or that somebody else created, and in that case, I would think that you've got to know that it's AI generated, that it's deepfake porn. But if you're sharing it, if you're distributing it with other people, 100%. So part of this has become an issue in regards to the laws that are getting crafted, where they're crafting them and the distribution, it seems pretty clear, but it's the creators. They've created it, they've kept it to themselves, but they've still done it without another person's consent. Do we criminalize that behavior as well? I think if we stand for anything, we have to. You are violating another person in the deepest way possible. You are looking at them at the most intimate moments of what would be their lives had this video been real. To do it non-consensually without that other person's approval, without their consent. It just smacks consent laws in the face. So if you've gotten anything out of this, I hope that you've just gotten a deep sense of thinking, because there's nothing easy about it. It's a global problem. Countries around the world are admitting what a problem it is, are admitting how woefully inadequate their laws are to cope with something like this. Somebody puts a picture of me out in from a basement somewhere in Michigan, and someone halfway around the world could download it 30 seconds later. It doesn't matter if I get it deleted that day. Somebody else still has it now. And I'm forever re-victimized when that person looks at it, when they're using it for self-gratification purposes. It's precisely what we fight against in terms of any action that is taken without your consent. Now, I don't have all the answers to this, and it's just getting more difficult. And it does feed into a larger AI discussion. As Janet recognized, this is a deepfake is porn. Is deepfake used on politicians, world leaders? Absolutely. Maloney, I forget her first name, but Prime Minister in Italy, I do believe, is in a suit right now because somebody made deepfake porn of her. So this is beyond the Taylor Swifts of the world and the movies, the Hollywood movie stars that have had deepfakes made on them. This is definitely crossed into the realm of the everyday man. And we need to think about where we stand on this. If you consume pornography, ask yourself, could I be consuming pornography that is deepfake? Could I be consuming pornography where the person in the video, one or more, did not consent to the making of it, or did not consent to the particular act in it? Only you can answer these questions for yourself. And you have to decide whether or not you are still willing to partake in it or risk whether or not it's content that is non-consensual. And again, I don't judge anybody for utilizing pornography. That is 100% your choice. It comes with some wrinkles. And it comes with, I think, some moral issues that we have to think about and decide where we stand on that. Thank you as well, Carmel. I really appreciate that. Yes, asking for donations is not a forte of mine. If anybody is interested, money goes towards equipment. Money is also potentially going towards my awards nomination. As going through the nomination process, there is a fee for Georgia Maloney. Okay, Georgia is her first name. Couldn't quite remember. I have until the 9th, tomorrow, to decide whether 150. Yeah, I think that was on the low end. And then it went up to like 600. Like if you wanted to be considered for every award that the international organization, does, you could. But I think there was only a few, once I ended up looking at it, that applied to me. Some is based on the amount of time you've been in the industry. I don't know. I think that I would still be like a rising star, because although I've worked with survivors for, most of my adult life, it's not been until I was, doing my YouTube video, reaching you guys like this, and, trying to join the connections. I don't know. Gosh only knows how many nominees, and as to whether or not I would be somebody who would be in the running for even something like that. I don't know. So I will have decided by tomorrow night, because everything is due then. So we'll have to see. What do you guys think? Any final thoughts from any of you on this type of subject? Any subjects that I haven't hit on yet that you think that I should? I'm going to be going over just kind of a brief listing, I think, of the different subject matters that I've touched in almost a year here on YouTube. This is my 99th live today, believe it or not. Oh my gosh. So Wednesday will be my 100th live, and we'll have just passed 1 year of when the first live went, which was February 10th of 2024. So Wednesday will be a big celebration. We'll be talking about kind of what's gone in the past and where things might go for the next year coming up. Where do I want it to go? What are my hopes? Do you guys have any things that you want to see? I did give an update on body at the very beginning, Crystal. If you want to come back up here now that we've got a few more people in, and since you were the one who spoke with her, feel free to pop up and give the update directly from you. That is totally fine with me. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything that you guys think of, even if it's sideways related to trauma, If it's something that really interests you, I'm certainly willing to consider doing it. So that's what Wednesday will be. I'm very excited about it. I still am just blown away. I cannot believe that I am doing my 100th live. I started this, and it was definitely just on a whim and a prayer and a hope that you guys might find a place to connect and talk, and that people would see the value in it. And you do. And I'm absolutely touched. And you've been so supportive of everybody within the SAS community, the love that you show. And here is Crystal now to tell us a little bit more about Body Illusion. She was the one who spoke with her earlier today, my understanding.
Yeah, I did. I spoke with her today. Basically, for those of us, and me included, that thought it was diabetes related, it was not. This came completely out of the blue. They're doing a biopsy this week to figure it out. They believe that the kidney failure was caused by an allergic reaction. So that is what is going on. She appreciates all the love and well wishes. She is very grateful that we want to do a fundraiser, but would like us to wait until we have more information on what she's going to need, and everything else. So that is what's going on right now.
Okay.
So
right.
I love you guys. And also, if you want to take part in our, yay, my hubby brought me food and yummy stuff. He just got home from work.
Oh, yay.
Real quick, just wanted to bring up our clothesline project one more time. If anybody that wants to participate, shoot me or Mac a email, and we love you. And hugs. And yes, I do think that you should, get in there and keep going with it, but that's just me. The 150 would be good, because I do think, the Rising Stars, the one that would be
The category that kind of fits
Yeah.
most. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I know I would have nominated you for this, but I know a lot of people would vote for you if you do go all the way in.
Well, I will excuse me. I'll
So,
definitely consider it, and I will let you know. And I tell you what, I'll make a short video if I do
all right.
end up putting everything through tomorrow, and we'll inform everyone of that.
All right. But I love you guys. I'm going to eat my nummies, and apparently Matt really loves me, because he even got me my bingo scratch off that I'm addicted to.
Oh, yay! Okay, well, good luck to you.
Yes. Thank you. Right. But with the topic, thank you for bringing attention to this, because I didn't know about the apps that you were talking about.
Yeah,
Matt,
Gary.
there is a way to get, like, if people have done like revenge porn and stuff, there is a way to remove yourself. Matt did it for me because of my ex, and I will make a post about that and tag everybody. But also, please send me the info on that app that you were talking about as well, because that is definitely something I want to look into personally, because of my wonderful ex. And mine wasn't even AI. It was just him sharing personal stuff that we had done together over 9 years.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, no, I will definitely post that, and I'll actually just text the name it to you as well. Yes. So you'll have it.
So big hugs, everybody. Love you. Have a wonderful weekend. I will probably, I don't know, I might go live, I might not. Who the hell knows? You know me. But big hugs.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Big hugs back. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So yeah, our clothesline project, if you guys are making t-shirts, if you're interested in making t-shirts, I did do a community post about it. So it kind of explains a little bit about what it is. It's got the colors there for the different t-shirts if you're interested, if you wanted to go by, you know, how it was originally set up and have a t-shirt that directly correlates to whatever your situation is. You can look up and you can see there. I've got some photos of just some examples that people have done in the past as well as our target dates. All submissions must be due by April 1st. You can do a photo or you can do a short video of your t-shirt that you make, and you can make a t-shirt virtually if you want. So if you want to just create something with a program and do it that way instead of doing something on a real physical t-shirt, that's okay too. That does not bother us one way or the other. Isn't it a bit weird to pay for a nomination of award? Yeah, well, you know, the nomination we get for free. Whether or not we go through the nomination process and are then considered by the organization itself, yeah, there is a fee. And the way it's explained is they do a lot of philanthropic work with schools that need funding around the world and things of that nature. And all the money that they get from these award nominations, it all funds their philanthropic endeavors. So that's one of the ways that they raise money for their philanthropic endeavors, which, you know, they do give you promotional material to put out. They do then promote you in certain ways, depending on where you've gotten in the process, and are helping to push you forward as well. So, you know, I can see where this would be a good moneymaker for them, and to be able to do the good that they do. Apparently, Sarah Ferguson, the UK, is one of the spokespeople along with this, and they had the awards ceremony somewhere in the UK, I do believe, last year. So, you know, we'll see. I will definitely let you know. I will look at it some more. And it was a little confusing the first time I was looking at it because there were all these different categories, and I wasn't understanding like where I should be or what I was supposed to be putting forth. And so kind of put it out of my mind and put it aside, and then realized that the 9th is tomorrow. So we'll look at that. So yeah, Body Illusion doesn't have a email. If you wanted to wish her well, you'll just need to go to her channel. Carmel has put that up for us. And just pick a video, pick a short. She'll get the notification that you did, and just wish her well. And I know that she would appreciate that. And she's very appreciative of all the prayers and thoughts that are getting sent from us. So I thank this community for being as supportive of everyone as they have been. Hugs and love to all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this time with me. And again, if there are anything that you want to hear about, please drop it down in the comments. Subjects that I haven't covered, subjects that I covered, but it's been a while and you think that need to be re-gone over, let me know in the comments, okay? And I will see you guys on Wednesday for our 100th live show. Unbelievable. 1 year anniversary, 100 lives. So that'll be Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. I can't wait to celebrate with you guys. So please remember, you are worthy, you are valuable, and you are loved for who you are, just the way you are. Giant hugs and love from me. Mwah. To everyone who needs them. We'll see you on our next one. Bye, guys.